before prophets were sent to disbelievers, these disbelievers engaged in idol worshipping. All their lives were built around these idols like Allat, Wamanat, and the likes. And these are gods carved with their own hands. They named these gods, they decorated the gods, and then they passed down their worship from generations to generation. And when they were told in Surah Al-Baqarah, "Ittabi'u ma anzala Allah," follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed unto you. Qalu, they replied saying, "Bal nattabi'u ma alfayna alayhi aba'ana." We only follow what we found our forefathers practicing. And so to them, it didn't feel wrong because their heart was attached and their traditions were correct, strong. And slowly they kept forgetting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you see, life has a way of turning things aside. When they were saying all these words, they were comfortable, they were actually not in distress or in struggle, and they thought their gods were helpful to them up until danger reached them. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala narrate to us in several verses of the Quran that when they boarded their ships and their ships were caught in violent storms, waves rises high and higher above them, and they feel with every passing second that death is coming closer to them. They now don't call unto their lesser gods. Their heart automatically returns back to the creator of the seven heavens and the earth, the master of the all creations and the king of kings. Because when fear becomes real, the heart stops pretending, and that is why their heart actually called upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the true creator. And when their heart called unto Allah, He could have not listened to them because they disobeyed Him and then they associate partners with Him in worship. Instead, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called or answered to their call. He calmed the storm, He settled the waves, and their ships were left untouched, saving them and their items. The one God that they had forgotten didn't forget them, and He saved them. But you see the interesting thing, right after they were saved, they returned back to their idol worshipping, as narrated in Surah Al-Ankabut, Surah Al-Baqarah, and then other chapters in the Quran. And it is about people like this that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the verse that we will discuss for today's week's video. It is found in Surah Al-Naml, the verse number 62, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Amman yujibu al-muttarra idha da'ahu wa yakshifu as-su'a wa yaj'alukum khulafa'a al-ardi a ilahum ma'a Allah qalilan ma tadhakkarun." That Amman yujibu al-muttarra idha da'ahu, who responds to the distress when they cry to Him, wa yakshifu as-su'a, and then He removes their affliction. وَيَجْعَلُكُمْ خُلَفَاءَ الْأَرْضِ, and who makes the successors in the earth. أَإِلَهٌ مَعَ اللَّهِ, is it another God beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? قَلِيلًا مَا تَذَكَّرُونَ. Yes, just few of people are mindful of this. And you see, this is a powerful verse. And you see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not ask question to get an answer. It is of course a rhetorical question that makes you think and also wonder for yourself. And you might think this verse is just to those disbelievers, but the verse is about you and me today. When life is mercy, when things are going well, or when we feel happy and stable, we rely on ourselves and we forget to make dua. We sometimes even delay prayers and we feel like we are in control. But at the moment difficulty hits, at the moment problems start flowing in, and we start feeling distressed, we start getting confused, suddenly we return back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the original helper and the original provider. And that is not bad at all. It is of course not haram. In fact, it is a mercy, because sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows for hardship to happen, not just to punish us, but to bring us back onto Him. So if you are seeing more of this, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you and He wants you back onto Him. So when distress comes into your life, when the things become difficult, when you are actually suffering, call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even if you have sinned, even if you feel unworthy, even if you don't know what to say, call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds to the distress. He is the most merciful, He is the most compassionate, and of course He is the most all forgiving. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. فضلك أمطروا حاشاك أن يبقى هشيما مربعي.